I'm back again with another Warframe video. I'm really actually surprised I never thought of making this one, because it fits right in line with what I've been doing so far, and it's dead easy to do. This is going to be how to get valkyr. Quick and easy, probably, because the thing you have to kill to get it, or rather the guy, is a complete wuss and a pushover compared to some other bosses. Like, for example, Sargis Rock, you find him on Saturn. He's, well, he's not appearing now because Forward, like this big infested thing, is taking over the place. But he's a Grineer who has invincibility phases and a giant flamethrower and is generally really hard to kill. The guy we're going to kill today, Alad Vee, does not have invincibility phases and is pretty darn easy to kill. Oh, before I start, by the way, it's a good idea to have weapons with generally really high damage, because that way you can just one-shot him, well, not necessarily one-shot him, but just kill him so much easier. For example, with the loadouts I have, my swords do around 500 damage. My shotgun does a whopping 3,000, in fact more than that. I didn't even count this at first. That's like around 5,000 damage in total, holy crap. And then the dual pistols, which are rapid-fire kind of Uzi-like weapons, they do around 200 per hit. So this kind of loadout is perfect for killing him. If you don't have this kind of mods and stuff, don't fear. All you need to do is bring some friends, and if you don't have friends, Excalibur will be perfect for this, because you can just run down the hallways casting Radio Blind continuously and just dodge all the corpus and then get to Alad Vee and just kill him with chromatic the blade ability, the last one. Chromatic blade is not what it's called. Exalted blade, that's what it's called. Exalted blade. Chromatic blade is a mod I've been thinking of recently that's really cool, that applies different elements to that. Basically, you pull out your sword and just start swinging it, and it creates waves of energy that just rip stuff apart. So on we go into the mission and killing Alad Vee. If you don't know how to get here, it's pretty simple. Actually, it might not be that simple. Anyway, how you get there is you go to one of the junctions from the previous planet. So if you were just starting out the game, you would start out on Earth, and then it would give you a bunch of missions to do around like here or this side of the screen. And once you finish them, you would go to the Venus junction. In fact, yeah, they're there. It's the junctions that says what missions you have to do, like complete Vor's Prize, collect 20 mods. So once you've done that, you go there and kill basically a mind control Tenno-like thing, like Warframe-like thing, like something like you are a Warframe, and then you get to go to Venus, and then from Venus you just look over to the next junction, and you basically make your way along these paths shown here from planet to planet until you get to Jupiter, which actually, by looking at it, means don't go from Earth to Venus to Mercury, because that won't get you to Jupiter. You have to go to Mars, then Ceres, then Jupiter. So once you're there, you complete all the missions until you get to Alad Vee. So that's Metis, so you do a rescue mission, a survival mission, a sabotage mission, a defense mission, and then you get to Alad Vee, right here. While we're loading in, I might as well explain a bit of lore for Alad Vee. So the two main factions in this game, the Corpus and Grineer, hate each other. And there was peace for them for a while, at first, like at the very start of Warframe. But they still hated each other. It was like two countries which trade because they know they need trade, and they know they need resources, but really they like to just stab each other in the back and launch missiles at each other and such. Anyway, Alad Vee was head of Corpus relations with the Grineer and Corpus. So he was meant to be like the negotiator. Only he was like the worst possible person you could pick for the job, because he sucked ass at it. He didn't do much negotiating at all. He mostly just antagonized the Grineer. And then when the Grineer said, hang on, you actually are working in territories that we should technically own, please hand over all resources, Alad Vee went up to the Corpus board, which is like the Corpus guild of super superiors, like the really high ups, and went, the Grineer are trying to make me do this, please give me funds, I want to start a war. And then the Corpus were like, this could, like the guild would like, potentially, this could get us a lot of profit. And then they did supply Alad Vee with all the funds, which he then used to try and bribe the Tenno to work for him in a massive fight called the Gravis Dilemma. That was actually an event in Warframe at one point. I didn't take part in it, but the good news is all the stuff you can get from it besides a badge, like the weapons, you can now still get them. For a while you couldn't get the weapons at all. And what Alad Vee was doing while that entire thing was going on is he was capturing warframes and chopping them up to build robots he called Zanuka, like he called the Zanuka Project. In fact, that's what we're going to be fighting. I say we, but really me. That's what I'm going to be fighting today, a Zanuka. And Valkyr, the warframe you're actually getting off him, was created by Alad Vee from the Zanuka Project because basically he tortured Valkyr while ripping the parts off her, and that just made her super mad, and that's actually how she got her berserk abilities and now generally just hates Corpus, the original Valkyr.
Now, let me show you the future! Zanuka! Kill!
Oh man, did I have the voice acting turned up way too loud. I may have to edit that. Hold on a minute. I'm just going to turn it down since the fight pauses whenever I'm in solo mode like I am. So you're not just you don't have your eardrums blown out by Alad Vee's shouts. So yeah, as you can tell from his voice, he is one cocky, arrogant dude. But the best thing about this is, you can totally teach him a lesson by blowing his face off. Okay, so how the fight works is, first I generally recommend getting rid of all his little Corpus minions, like so. It makes the fight easier. Then, what you do is you start shooting Zanuka here. The Warframe hybrid robot thing. It will, as you can see, shoot missiles at you, as well as that it will also, just generally go up and melee you. And the way, and also Alad Vee has a bunch of abilities himself. Like, if you get close enough to him, he will go and, do this thing he called blinding beams, or like sunbeam or something, where basically he'll launch a flashbang and the entire screen will go white and you can't see it all. If you're wondering why I'm using my ultimate ability here, the prism ball, is because I didn't know this actually until I started fighting Zanuka right now. But you can actually blind it. Like, you see that little bit of dust around it? That was indicating that it was blinded and couldn't actually see me. And sorry for actually leading you astray. I totally forgot Zanuka is actually invincible when Alad Vee is up. No wonder my super powerful Valkyr hack couldn't hurt him. Which is kind of funny if I was using Valkyr hack as a weapon. Oh yeah, that there's another one of Alad Vee's abilities. And wow, the voice acting is still just way too loud. And it turned down the speech even more. I guess sound effects volumes can stay normal. Yeah, so once you've shot Alad Vee like so, Zanuka becomes vulnerable. And as you can see, that's why I told you it's good to have really good weapons, because in 3 shots, I was able to kill Zanuka. So yeah, done and dusted. And now all you have to do is make your way to the exit. If you pay attention to the bottom of the screen, you notice I got 2 neural sensors off Alad Vee. And that is what's awesome about fighting this fight. You know how most other warframes require Orokin cells, like these little silver things? Valkyr doesn't. She requires neural sensors, which you get off Alad Vee, which can sometimes drop quite easily, like you've seen there. So, while you're killing Alad Vee, which you need to do a minimum of 3 times, by the way, to get all 3 of Valkyr's parts, the neuroptics, the chassis, and then the last part is the systems, you are actually most likely going to get the parts, like the neuroptics you need to build Valkyr, which is awesome, because Valkyr doesn't take a single Orokin cell. The other parts you need are generally very easy to get. Just some Morphix and some Pollen Bundle, and I forget the rest. But yeah, it's generally very easy to get it. So now you basically know how to fight Alad Vee, and also, just like my video on how to get Nyx, he's a great way of making money, because he drops a Warframe part each and every time you kill him, which sells for 2,500 credits. And he is a guaranteed spawn, unlike Forward. And he's also always on Jupiter, which is a low-level place. As you can see, the place was level 18 to 20. And then the best part is, even if it gets taken over by Infested, weak-ass Alad Vee gets replaced by weak-ass Forward. So no matter what, you're getting you're getting around like 5,000 credits each time because you get around like 3,000 credits just for doing the mission. And both are actually quite good for speedrunning. Like, even though I was talking and kind of distracted to talking to all of you watching, I was able to complete that quite quickly. If you have your mind like on the game specifically and like just rocking out to your own tunes you love and just really zoned in, you can kill Alad Vee much faster than I did, especially because I forgot that you don't shoot Zanuka and shoot Alad Vee instead. So yeah, it's a real good mission for speedrunning. And then once Forward takes over the node, it's a great mission for speedrunning. So just generally a really, really quick way to get money. I recommend it heartily. So I hope you enjoyed this mission on how to just blast Alad Vee's ass from here to oblivion and how to get a valkyr. Bye!